it's Christy, and today I am doing a makeup video. Oh my gosh, a video on how I do my makeup. I am not perfect, I am not an expert. I don't even know that I'm good at it, but some of you asked for the video, so without further ado, here we go. Okay, so the first thing I do obviously is I wash my face and moisturize. Then I get out everything that I will possibly use, but not necessarily use. So I'm only going to show you the items that I end up using. And there's this. That's everything there. I've got all my brushes here, and I will try to tell you what each brush is. I've got 3 different sponges, and the first one that I'll use I need to go wet because I use a damp sponge to put my foundation on. So my sponge is damp, and what I'm going to do right now is get a little headband and put it on to get my hair out of the way and stuck on my nose. Because I don't want to get the makeup on my hair. Sorry that it's kind of cutting off my forehead, and this is the best I could get the framing set up to do my makeup. Okay, so the very first thing I do is apply a primer. Currently, I am using Tarte Poreless Primer. So I just put a little bit on my finger, and then just kind of put it in different spots, and then I blend it in with my fingertips. That way I can tell that I'm getting it all over my face and not just in a couple of spots. I think I have seen people use their brushes to apply it, but I definitely use my fingertips, and I kind of pull it down my neck just a little bit. So once I'm done with it, I go ahead and put it back in my drawer because I don't want to mess with it. So the next thing I do is, this is a Correct Yourself Bliss Corrector Stick. So it's just a stick that's green. So you've got green, and I take it in to the red spots on my face, just like that. So I've got green spots now. There's a red spot. And I always have a little bit of red right around my nose, right there. So now I've got green on my face. The other thing I do is, because if you notice I didn't prime my eyes, I do use this, it's called Hey Honey Trick and Treat Active Cream Concealer, but it's super creamy and not very concealery. That's a word. So I literally take it and put it all around right here, and it works as a under eye primer. And I use actual primer on my eyelids, so I don't really focus on putting it up there, but I kind of do swipe it up there too. This is the Hey Honey. It's just this little tube. Can't tell you how much it is because I don't know. I got it in FabFitFun box. The next thing I actually do is my foundation. I'll do my eye primer. Oh, well, sometimes I do my foundation and then I do my eye primer. Sometimes I do my eye primer and then my foundation. It just kind of varies, but let's just go ahead and do the eye primer. So I used to use Lancome, but they quit making it. So now I'm using Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Eyeshadow Base. And this is it right here. I apply it with a brush, not my finger. And yes, I need to wash my brushes. I used them the other day and didn't wash them. So I just literally apply it just like that. And to keep from getting creases in my eyes from the base, I take a little translucent powder, and it is translucent on Honestly, I don't even know the name brand of this. Long time, no shine. Powder, translucent. It's probably Lancome. Oh wait, yes, it's got a little flower on it. It's Lancome. Oh, yeah. And I take one of my sponges. Let's use this other one because that one's really dirty. So a sponge and just kind of pat it over my eyelid just like that to keep from getting creases in my eyelid. Just like that. Okay, so on to foundation. We will use this translucent powder again, so keep that out. Right now my skin is between tones. Normally in the winter it's this one, normally in the summer it's this one. If you can tell, well, here, you can tell they're two drastically different shades. This one is, and they're both Lancome. This one is 110 Ivory C, and this one is 220 Buff C. So since I'm between tones, I'm closer to, I think I'm closer to this one. I mix them right now. So I'm just gonna squirt a little of each on my hand, just like that, and then mix it together. To me, it's just easier to mix my summer and winter colors together for spring and fall rather than buying more. And then I dot it on just like this. And like I said, I am no expert on makeup, so this is literally just me telling you what I do, because it's been asked. So I've just taken the damp sponge that I got damp a little while ago and blending it into my skin right now. I know a lot of people pat theirs in. I kind of pat and glide because I'm not, I like full coverage, but I don't like my face to feel heavy. So I feel like when I pat it on, that my face ends up feeling heavy, and I don't like that. So I like pat and glide. So if you can see now, it's a little bit shiny, but we'll take care of that later. Okay. I do not stick that in the drawer because I don't want it to get moldy. I set it up here on the edge. Okay, so the next thing that I do is I put these back because I don't like having stuff that I'm done using sitting out. The next thing that I do is that I use my under eye concealer, and this one is Lancome. It's waterproof. It's almost out, but I have a full one in my drawer, and I use these to, I don't like to waste makeup. It's expensive. So I sit here and I try to squeeze it out until it's completely gone. And this one's definitely almost gone. Okay, once I get it, I use both my index fingers. I know you're not really supposed to use your index finger. You're supposed to use your ring fingers, but I use that for something else. And this one I do pat. I pat this under my eye, and I try to go down into, like, look in the mirror to where I'm looking up so it doesn't, so I get it as close to my eyelid as possible without getting it in my eye. And I go all the way up to right here in the corners and up here, just like that. And it's a little bit lighter than my foundation, but you're not gonna be able to tell when I'm done. See the difference? Like, this side's got it and this side doesn't. And yes, it's shiny, but it won't stay that way. So I'm left-handed, so I pat that there, and then I go in with my left hand because I'm definitely not good at my right hand with anything. Okay, And that's done. I'm gonna let it sit there and dry for a minute because I don't want to pack powder on it and then it look crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows. It's gonna look weird when I first start, and honestly, I've never been really good with eyebrows. I've just been watching tutorials and trying to figure it out. So the way I've found it, it kind of looks weird when I do it, but then I fix it and it doesn't, if that makes any sense at all. So what I do is first I take the brush side and I just brush my eyebrows up like that. And then I take the pencil side, and this is Lancome trend here. I like Lancome. This is Lancome, and the color for this pencil, taupe, color's taupe. So I draw around my eyebrow, and I'm going to tell you right now that I'm not worried about if I mess up because I have a way to correct it. So I drew around. It looks crazy, right? And then I just kind of color it in right here. Don't worry, I'm not leaving it like that. And around. Could you imagine if I left it like this? That would be so scary. So I take the brush side again and I brush it up and sideways, just like that. So I'm done with this, goes in the drawer. But I have this little brush. It is Vanity Planet, and it's just this little long brush, and I only ever use it for my eyebrows, and it kind of blends it in better. So I do this. And like I said, I've got a way to fix any color that goes in weird places, so I'm not concerned about that. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. And then you'll also see why I haven't put powder on my face yet. Okay, so I'm done with that. And that goes in the drawer. And see, it kind of looks still weird. And it's gonna look weird right here anyway because I have a scar and it kind of takes away from, like, I don't have any hair there, so that's gonna stay weird. I don't have a way to fix that. So the brush that I used, and I didn't even say what kind of brush it was previously. It's a Lancome brush, but I don't know the number. That's the brush that I used for my eyelid base. I'm gonna take that brush again, just dab a little bit of base on there, and just line my eyebrow of where I want the fix. So there's that one. And there's that one. So they're much more, like I said, they are gonna look, my eyebrows aren't perfect, so they might look a little weird since I have a scar, but I did notice something. Let me just, there. Covered up that scar just a little bit. You can still see it though. Can you see it? See that scar right there? Oh, light does horrible things for my face. Okay, moving on, and I guess I have my hair in like a sloppy braid today, just for now. Now that I'm done with my eyebrows, this has had time to dry. I contour next. I know contouring can get kind of sticky situation, sketchy, whatever. I use the Tardiest Pro Glow by Tarte. I love this thing. Like, I'm so happy this came in a FabFitFun box for me. So I use this darkest shade. It just says shade. So I've got 3 shades here and 3 lights here. And I use this darkest one. I use these the most. I very rarely use those two. So I'm getting the dark shade, and it's more of a liquid, not really a liquid, but it's not powdery. So I literally just do like this and then go right through here. So I'm gonna do that right now. And most people that I've ever watched, they pat it. Like I said before, I'm kind of impatient, so I don't necessarily pat it. I still pat it, but I kind of move it around too, to where it blends in better. Got my shade there, and it looks really dark right now, but it won't look that dark when I'm done. So then I do the other side. I kind of sit back, look, make sure that it looks pretty even. This side looks a little bit darker than the other side. It's really pretty good. The next place I put it is right on the sides of my nose here, like that. And then I blend it in. Again with like a pat and a little bit of movement. Alright, so I'll put a little here too, right there. And then I blend it in. And I put a little here. And this one, I tend to pull it down into my neck. Like that. And then I put it along my forehead right there. All the way around, just like that. And then I blend it in. The next thing I do is I take the translucent powder. I take this brush, which is a Lancome brush as well, but it's kind of so old that it doesn't say what it is anymore. So I put a little brush on a little of the translucent powder on the end, and then literally wipe it all over my face to kind of set this stuff. So if you're looking at my face, it has pretty much gotten rid of those harsh lines. The translucent powder somehow, like I said, I am no makeup expert, but the translucent powder, it does kind of blend it, I guess. So I'm still working with the Tardiest palette. I used that darkest color. Now I'm going to go in with this brush, which is a Luxie 522 tapered highlighter, but instead of using it for highlight, I'm going to use it right here again with a little bit of the shimmery darkness, but I swirl it around and then I tap it and then I just brush it. The next thing I do is I use Luxie 508 Duo Fiber Stripping brush, and I twirl it up on the 2 of these, tap it, put it here, down to my nose, right there, and on my chin. Then I do it again, tap it, and I go like this. I go from way up here down to here. And then I do it on the other side. So it's shimmery now. And I'm done with the tardiness. The last brush that I use is this Lancome, and it doesn't say what it is, and it's actually pretty old. Like, I've got a worn spot right here. And I have some Lancome blush that I use, and this is called Blush Subtle Duo. So it's like a shimmer and a matte, and I just swirl the two of them, tap it, put it right there. So I've got the Per Be Your Selfie palette, and it has like a lot of neutral colors and some shimmers. I've got the, I believe this is Tarte. Yep, this is Tarte Love, Trust, Fairy Dust. Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust eyeshadow palette. You can tell that I've used this one a lot. And then I've got this Winky Luxe palette. And you open it and it's got all sorts of different hues. So the first thing I do is I take, this is a, I think this is a Clinique brush actually. I take this one, and I don't know the size of it, and I'm looking for my lightest shade that I want to use, and it's this one right here in the Tarte one. Tap it and then go over the whole eyelid. And by the way, this Tarte palette, it smells amazing. It smells like candy. So also I keep a brush. This is a Luxie brush, 502 large powder brush. I keep it off to the side with nothing on it and kind of swipe under my eyes as I'm going, because there's fallout from your eyeshadow. So I kind of just go up the shades from there. The matte shades, not the shimmer shades. So this one is a Luxie 205 tapered blending brush. So I'm gonna go with this pure color right here, swirl it, tap it, and then I'm going like at the crease here, and I'm literally going back and forth on my eyelid, and then kind of pulling it out, because by the time you start pulling it out, there's such little left on there that it's just really blending it rather than applying it to your eyelid. So I'm gonna use the same brush, and I'm going to go the next shade darker, which is back to my Tarte palette. And it's this one right here. I'm not sure what the name of it is. Tap it. Instead of just doing windshield wipers back and forth, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna swirl it, so since it's a darker shade, so that it blends better. So I've got back and forth, and I'm not going quite as far over as I did with the first color, and then kind of circular motions. Back and forth, circular motions. And then I just kind of start going further out. So the next brush is a Sephora brush. I'm going with the next darker shade, which is literally the one right next to the one that I used a minute ago. It's this one. Tap it. And I'm gonna do circular motions. All right, so the next darker shade is the one right next to it. Okay, so now I'm about to go into the even darker shades, and this is the Lux 209 a large shaper. So I'm going to take that one and go with my next color, which is strong. It's right here. and back and forth and circular. So this one has a little bit of a warmer pinkish tint to it. Back and forth, circular. The next one, so I've got this gummy bear color that I like to incorporate every now and then. It's this one right here. So I'm gonna tap it off. And then back and forth, circular motions. Then I'm gonna just start going a little bit darker and bring in the browns. And this one is right here. I'm using this one, and then I will use that one right there. Corner. So instead of just going back and forth and circular, I'm kind of making a little V right here. You see? Alright, okay, so I've got 2 more shades to go through. This next one is on the Sugar Kitten palette again, and is the dark chocolate. It's down here at the bottom. Tap it off. I'm gonna use this real quick. Bet you didn't fall out. I've got 1 more shade left, and I'm gonna go to this one is Luxie 213 Eye Shading. And I'm gonna use this one right here, tap it off, and do the same thing. The next thing I do is my under eye. I use this one. That's the last one that I use. And then this one. So this is the Luxie 211 concealer. I use this brush. I take that dark color I used, which I think I'm going to use dark. I'll use this one. Tap it off, and then I'm looking up and literally just lining my eyelid. I don't go all the way over because it's really dark, and I don't want to go all the way over. So I've got the darkest color, and then I'm going to do the dark chocolate again from the Sugar palette. So I'm wiping off this brush onto my towel, my hand towel here, because it does have some dark colors on it, and I don't want to use dark colors. Then I'm going to go in with this second shade here, tap it off, and just kind of bring it down a little further bit under. All right, now I'm wiping the brush off again, and I'm going back in with this shade, the lightest shade. Okay, so the next thing, translucent powder. Remember that brush I did, the sponge I used for the lid? Now I'm going to use it directly under my eye and just kind of pat right there to kind of make it a solid line rather than a smudgy mess. So you've got that like that. Just a little bit over here. There. Okay. Now, before I move on to my shimmer, I actually go back to this brush, get a little bit more of that base color I used, and line my brow again. All my shimmers I'm going to use are from this palette, and I use my finger. So I'm gonna start with this darkest shade right here, put my finger on it, and literally just pat it on my eyelid. I need a little more, like that. So then I move to the next darkest shade, which is this one right here. And I do the same thing, just a little further over on my eyelid. I've used these two, and now I'm just kind of moving up. So the next one's this one. And I just move over the slightest little bit. And the next one, that's when I move to my ring finger, because look, you can see it's all blown. I move to my ring finger and I do this shade. And then the lightest. I said my ring finger a minute ago and I totally meant my middle finger. Now I'm on my ring finger. Okay. So I've used all the shimmer shades in this palette and about dropped that. Then I'm going to go back to my Winky Pink, the Winky Lux, sorry, Sugar Kitten palette. I'm using this, I think it's a Clinique, maybe a Lancome brush. I'm not sure what number it is. There's a shimmer one right here. And I get the corner. Just like that. I also use this on my, right under my brow, right here. So the last thing I do for my eyes before I apply eyeliner and mascara is I take this Thrive Brilliant Eye Brightener and I literally apply it on the inside. Right here and on the underneath and in the corner to brighten up the inside right there. And I got one other place that I use it. What? So I take this and I literally put it right here. And then I rub it in. With my pinky, because that's the last finger I haven't, the only finger I haven't used any makeup with it. So my next thing is eyeliner. This one is smudge resistant eyeliner. This is the brand. Honestly, I haven't purchased eyeliner in a bit over a year or so because I keep getting eyeliner in my subscription boxes and I've just been using whatever they send. So when I apply eyeliner, I pull my eyelid kind of this way and close my eye. And I prefer a thinner line than a thicker line. I'm not one that goes from thick to really thin. I mean, I do it a little bit, but not for the most part. I go the other side and then I do the bottom, because when I try to do the bottom and then come over here, I always make this dark, like thicker, because I don't know, it's just what I've learned. And like I said, I am no expert at makeup. An expert makeup artist might say, oh, she's doing it all wrong. She's making herself look horrible. Whatever. Maybe I am. So there's my eyeliner. The next thing I do is I take eyelash curlers, and I don't know what brand this is. I probably just got it at Walmart or something. And I'm not perfect at this. I've seen them just, YouTube artists just go at it and get it right. Me, I just kind of do it 3 times, set that aside. So this is Lancome booster. So it's white. I put this on the top and a little bit on the bottom before I put my mascara on. So I've got the white on. Can you see it? This is Envy Lash Estee Lauder Pure Color Envy Lash Multi. It's black. This is a tester size. Again, like I've got 3 or 4 mascaras in here, and they're all relatively new. So because I've gotten them out of my FabFitFun or, you know, a box, subscription box, and this is just the most recent one I received, so I literally use whatever mascara comes. As long as it doesn't hurt my eyes. I have one in there that bothers my eyes, so I don't use it. Next thing I do is get this lip primer, and instead of putting it on my finger, I always just kind of do this, bubble it up, and then directly apply it to my lips. So it's like it's a lip primer, that's all it is. I already made my lips look so much better. So I don't actually wear lipstick very often, and when I do, they're mostly nudes, mattes, whatever. So right now I'm literally just gonna do what I normally do and put lip gloss on, and sometimes I will put a colored lip gloss. This one is clear, and it is Kiss Proof Lip Finish, so it's like just a lip finish, and I just put it on over my lip primer. That's really all I do for my lips. And it was leaking the other day, so now I keep it standing up. Okay, the last and final thing that I do is I take the Urban Decay, which Urban Decay is one of my favorites. Other than Lancome, I actually have an Urban Decay palette. We just didn't use it today. All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, long lasting. So I just spray that on, and I'm done. This is the finished product of my face. What do you think? Too heavy? What? Like I said, I am not an expert at makeup. This is just what I do on a daily basis. If you're better at makeup, or if you know some good tricks and tips on makeup and you'd like to leave me some advice, I'd be happy to take it. Just leave me a comment below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I was really nervous about doing this video, so yeah, let me know how I did. I was so nervous. Some of you asked for it, so that's why I did it. But yeah, just let me know what you think. All right, guys, thanks. Bye.